Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. If you haven't heard, I'm here to tell you that the government is cutting food stamp benefits in November. And I am surprised to see that over on TikTok, there are Black men, not all, but some, seeming to rejoice over the fact that Black women will not be able to get food stamps anymore. These are the same men who believe that the government destroyed the Black family. So one of them started his video by saying, the war on the Black family is over. They're cutting benefits. And then I don't know if they are taking away the housing benefits from single moms or not, but they seem genuinely pleased that these people are being kicked off of food stamps. And Black women are crashing out on TikTok. Some of them are, because they're losing their food stamp benefits. This guy had a video with this caption, "No SNAP benefits for the strong, independent Black women, LOL." So he's mocking strong Black women. Well, a lot of strong Black women are not on food stamps. They're not getting SNAP benefits. They're not on welfare. A lot of strong Black women have the means for taking care of themselves. So I'm not sure that rejoicing over the strong Black woman is in order, because all Black women are not on food stamps and SNAP benefits or whatever they're called. Some strong Black women are able-bodied and they are working jobs where they make a livable wage. And these are the same type of Black men who were rejoicing when it was reported that 300,000 Black women had lost their jobs. They were glad. It was like, okay, see, you didn't need that education. See, now you're going to have to depend on Black men. Now, this good-looking guy has a video on YouTube that says, "Welcome to reality, freeloaders. Your FAFO moment has arrived. November the 1st. Just too handsome to have this nasty attitude in my mind. So this is another Black man rejoicing that the government is cutting SNAP benefits or food stamps, or I'm not sure what the appropriate word is anymore. But it all comes down to food stamps. They're cutting families off of food stamps. Now they're operating on what Kevin Samuels said years ago before he died, where he convinced Black men, or where he validated the idea that Black men had, that the government had destroyed the Black family by giving Black women food stamps and $25 a month rent, living in housing projects. So they are rejoicing because now they feel like Black women will now have to go back to depending on Black men. And I don't understand this reasoning, because there is no welfare check or no amount of food stamps that could replace a working man. I think most Black women would love to have a working man in their home helping them to raise their children. Now, I don't know this to be true, but I know I would. I would prefer to have a husband, a working man in my home, working with me to build a family and build a life, raise children, and to create a comfortable home for ourselves. So I don't speak for all Black women, but I do speak for many when I say that the government did more than just give Black women food stamps. There was creating the school to prison pipeline that was bringing drugs into the community, and then incarcerating Black men for little or nothing, for walking down the street or sneezing too loud, putting them in jail for 15 and 20 years for things that a white person would have walked away from with a slap on the wrist. All of that went into destroying the Black family, not just giving Black women somewhere to stay and a means for providing food for their children, because those programs weren't even begun for Black women. They started those programs for white women. There are more white women on welfare getting food stamp benefits and cheap housing than Black women. Now, I will admit that there are probably too many Black women on these programs. And I am a proponent of Black women not having children with men that they can't build a life with. So that does require self-control and forethought, because it doesn't bode well for the children, because many of those children brought up in poverty are the ones that are targeted for the school to prison pipeline. So I'm not saying that women shouldn't do better or make better choices, but I am saying that I'm not going to rejoice when a family needs government assistance to feed their children, because some people are in that predicament. But in the Black community, now I remember back when Bill Clinton was elected president, and they had the welfare to work program, and a lot of Black women in the South were rejoicing because now they were going to put these girls out of these projects and make them go to work. So a lot of Black women went to work under that program, because I know in the school that I was teaching, several mothers went back to work under that program and bought houses for themselves, and they were glad. The real estate market jumped right on it and began building these single family homes for these women that were going back to work. Banks worked with them, and they became homeowners for the first time. They were glad that they were able to own their own home, and that they got jobs through the programs that were set up for them. But there are a lot of Black people who do not like the whole system of welfare and depending on the government. It's not just Black men. There are a lot of people who feel that way. But I still believe we have to have compassion for each other. And if somebody is receiving benefits and they have children, those children need to eat, regardless of what anybody else thinks. Those children didn't ask to be born. Those children have to eat. And you shouldn't be rejoicing that people are being cut off benefits, and now they're going to have to depend on a man who may or may not be dependable. And some of these men are being just downright petty, saying stuff like, well, they won't be able to buy weave and wigs anymore, and they won't be able to get their nails done, and they won't be able to go on cruises and things like that. Just wishing for the downfall of these women, because a lot of these women are not doing all of that anyway. And if they are wearing wigs, they're probably cheap. And if they are wearing nails, they're probably getting those glue-on nails at the Dollar General that are not that expensive. So, I mean, like I said, I think some of them are just being petty. But the government is planning to cut off these food aid benefits. At least 25 states plan to cut off food aid benefits in November. The pause in benefits for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, would begin in states from California to Arkansas just before the busy holiday season. Now, I wonder who thought that up. Let's just do it before the holiday season so we can really hit them in the gut. I wonder who came up with that plan. Millions of low-income Americans will lose access to food aid on November 1st, when half of states plan to cut off benefits due to the government shutdown. 25 states told Politico that they are issuing notices informing participants of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the nation's largest anti-hunger initiative, that they won't receive checks next month. The states include California, Arkansas, Hawaii, Indiana, Mississippi, and New Jersey. Others didn't respond to requests for comment in time for publication. So there will be other states. I understand what people are saying when they say that you shouldn't just rely on the government when you are an able-bodied person and can work for yourself. But there are people who are disabled. There are elderly people that depend on this program. And there are children involved. And I think that there should be some type of performance-based program where you have to do something to receive the food stamps and the housing allotment. I don't see anything wrong with that, especially if you're able to. So anyway, this is the new normal for America. This is what they're doing. But there is some good news. Americans are generous people. There are food banks and soup kitchens all over the country, and there are churches that have pantries where they give away food for the needy. So there are some alternatives, but it is a time for people to be disciplined and conservative with the food that they have if they are depending on these programs. But we will get through it. We'll get through it. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video and have a good evening.